Let me give you a double whammy, a stock that lets you directly play both the improving employment situation in this country and the impending rise in short-term interest rates that's lurking sometime next year. I'm talking about Paychex, P-A-Y-X, the country's #2 payroll processor, specializing in small, medium-sized businesses. You know, the kind that actually create jobs. On top of that, Paychex also has a growing outsourced human resources division, and the company made a series of small software as a service acquisitions to build up a presence in the cloud. Oh, and sports a juicy 3.3% yield. Now, Paychex just reported this morning, and though the company beat Wall Street's earnings estimates by a penny while posting slightly higher than expected revenues, up 9.7% year over year, the stock nonetheless got dinged today. It fell around 3%. Paychex left its guidance unchanged, but given what's around the corner, I think this could be a terrific buying opportunity because the moment the Federal Reserve raises rates, the company's earnings get a nice boost. Why? Because that's how the payroll processing business works. Between the moment when your employer gives Paychex a big slug of money to cover its payroll and the moment when Paychex actually pays you, this company's collecting interest on the float. Right now, super short-term rates they're just way too low. They're insanely low. But if the Fed starts taking them up higher sometime in the first half of next year, that will be very good news for Paychex. So let's take a closer look with Marty Musi. He's the president and CEO of Paychex. Get a better sense of how his company's doing and where it is headed. Mr. Musi, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thanks, Jim. Good to be here.
You know what? I got to tell you, when I look through the numbers, I still think, like housing, we are in a recessionary level of small business creation. It still hasn't broken out, and I've got to believe that there's something structural wrong in the country that's happening.
Well, I think you're right. We had obviously a solid quarter with 10% service revenue growth and good net income growth of 9%, but it still seems to be a little bit slow on new business formation. You're absolutely right. The hiring was up. It's kind of moderated now, but new business startups are still a little bit slow.
Right. Now, there's also, I think let's just say, unsophisticated look at what the law is going to be next year in terms of the Affordable Care Act. Do you think it's going to be like a sudden rush in January when people realize that what they thought about health care and what they thought about payroll, it was wrong?
I do think it's going to be a rush for the need for people to have compliance, be in compliance, and get the reporting. Now, we've already seen a pickup in our sales. I talked on the call this morning for our products that help our employers, be compliant with the Affordable Care Act and help them do the reporting. So we've seen this pick up just in the last 2 months. I think it's going to be a big first quarter for that product.
Now, I know in the call it came up near the end that you've been doing good business in Texas, in the Bakken, in fracking. Is this something that, are you seeing already a slowdown there, or is that just consistent business and we shouldn't be fretting $56 oil price for you?
Well, we haven't seen a slowdown there yet. At this point, that was where the fastest small business employment's been going on is Texas to North Dakota, right in the central part of the U.S., all around energy, picking up the jobs in that area. So it could happen, but we haven't seen it at this point. It's still been the most positive area of the country.
All right. How about this 401k business? To me, this is a natural. I know from HR that 401k is really alien to a lot of HR departments. What kind of growth are you seeing right now in that business?
Yeah, right now it's pretty solid. We're up around 6% growth in the clients, and we feel pretty good about it. We have the most 401ks of anyone in this business right now, about 65,000. And we think that's going to continue to have nice growth. And with the Congress the way it is now, I think they're going to be supportive of pushing more 401k options to small business employers. Yeah,
that's my belief, too. I think the reconfiguration of Congress is very pro 401k. Now, we had a professional employment organization on not that long ago that is offering a concierge service that, to me, just has these fabulous margins. Are you able to offer a super premium to people who just want everything done by you and don't want to have a thought in their head about not being compliant?
Well, I think we have a fully bundled service that gives you everything from help with your recruiting right through to all your HR needs. We actually have 400 HR specialists around the country that will service small businesses and give them that HR expertise that they need, a phone call away, and they visit them very frequently as well. We can do employee handbooks, you name it. I think that's going to continue to grow. It's one of our fastest growing businesses.
And last question. When you look at your crystal ball for next year at this time, we didn't have a lot of Washington turmoil. We didn't have a lot. We're kind of in a calm period in this country. Do you think that will just make people say, you know what, I'm getting all this stuff from Washington behind us. Now I can start a business?
Well, I sure hope so. I think Affordable Care Act is still, going to be a little bit of a headwind from the new business setup and businesses being concerned. But I think once we get past that, I do think right now, other than generally taxes, I think it doesn't feel too bad from a regulatory perspective, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I think you're in great shape for 2015. Marty Mucci, Paychex President and CEO, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jim. Glad to be here.
Stick with Cramer.